everybody, it's your boy Jimbo. Welcome back to another video. God, don't that saw sound nice? I actually had to change out the spark plug before I started filming that previous clip because it didn't want to start or run properly. Yeah, so far the only thing I've had to change out on this saw is the spark plug, which from what I've encountered from time to time and from what others tell me is a fairly common thing, so good thing I had some NGKs from a maintenance kit on hand. And as you guys can also see, we also have a surprise guest appearance of the Huyosen 6220E, which we haven't seen on this channel in a while. Don't worry, a video of this thing waking up after so long in silence is coming soon. But yeah, I have this one here because I want to kind of sort of compare them both. So in terms of out-of-the-box stuff, guys, there really is no difference between those two saws besides, of course, the box and a few of the different things that they had inside them. It was mostly just things that you'll occasionally get with different brands, but it was essentially the same essential stuff in there, like the toolkit and the mixing jug at the very least. Of course, you've got your different cosmetics. That saw is red and looking more like a clone of a Husky 55. This one seems to be more of a clone of an MTD and is gray and black, red hint colored. It's either way a pretty nice looking saw. Both saws look pretty neat. I guess the question is, you know, in the wood, how do they do stacked up against each other? Of course, it seems, as is always the case with Chinese chainsaws, you won't truly see the difference between the two unless you really put them in wood or remove the muffler and measure the bores. So, unless somebody in my neck of the woods has some wood that needs to be cut, I don't know if we'll see that for a little while. Master control-wise, they're both essentially the same, just with slight differences. This one uses more of a toggle on-off switch, or the classical style that these saws typically have, while the Garwinner uses a more of an actual on-off switch, or more electronic looking switch. The gas tanks are definitely different, as you can see. The Garwinner has a small little translucent piece that allows you to see the fuel level in there, which is pretty handy. You'll also notice that the Garwinner does not have a throttle lock, but the Huyosen does. Interesting little differences here and there. Obviously your air covers are on top. This is how you get to the one on the Huyosen, and this right here, of course, is how you get to the one on the Garwinner. And speaking of the air filters on these saws, the definite point for ease of access for certain goes to the Garwinner, because it's as simple as unstrapping this on the back, and there you go. That's your air filter access. Whereas on this one, you got a little bitty screw that, as you can tell, I've already had to loosen up because you typically need a flathead screwdriver. So let me get this off real quick and we'll show you what's underneath the hood on this one. As you can see, they have similar air filters, or I should say now they have similar air filters, because the Garwinner didn't always used to have this filter, obviously. As you all remember, I switched out the filters for it a couple days ago from this crappy nylon mesh filter to the actually functioning paper filter that, as I said, actually friggin' works. And this saw kind of sort of has that too, only it's a bit more of a felt material. And yeah, definitely good to see that I have one more saw in the collection with a filter that's actually going to help it last a little bit longer. Because you definitely always want to change these out, because as I always say, unfortunately these things do not do what they're intended to do very well, sometimes if at all. Both of them have metal crankcases. Both of them have easy starts. The fuel and oil caps are in the same locations on both of them. Yeah, these saws are essentially very, very similar. I'd say the only differences between the two are maybe engine size, because sometimes Chinese saws like these are different than what they're advertised. Only other things that would be different besides maybe that would of course be the branding, the biggest one. the shapes, sizes, and colors of the plastic. And that's basically it. And of course, sometimes what's included in the box, because it just depends on where you... Now, those who have followed my channel for quite some time will know that, based on what we've seen in past videos, this Huyosen 62cc chainsaw is quite the beast for what it is and the price point. And considering that I've never really cut with one of these Garwinter chainsaws, and that as I mentioned earlier in the video, I had a bit of a starting issue until I changed out the spark plug to one that was actually a good one, an NGK. That, and I'm going to have to adjust this carburetor or see if the carb adjustments are still up to spec where they need to be and such. It's going to be a very interesting experience with this one, especially because it was so cheap from Temu. You can also get them off of Walmart for, I think, a little bit more. I think about $120 or $130 something dollars. Just obviously you're going to pay a little bit more. It's Wallyworld, but with Temu, I paid just under $100 for this, and right out of the box, it ran pretty good. That little hiccup where I ended up having to change the spark plug out is literally the only thing that's happened, and I'm genuinely hoping it's just the spark plug. Otherwise, we might have some future videos in store, folks. Fingers crossed that the only future videos in store are the ones involving this saw and wood cutting or modifications. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. I don't know what else to talk about with this saw, except I'm anxious to use it, but however, don't have any wood to put it in, unfortunately. So yeah, it's going to be on the shelf with the other saws, like the rest of the saws I've collected as part of my addiction. So that's pretty much it for this one, guys. Hopefully I can get some more content coming to y'all soon. Definitely got a video comparing the Chinese top handles coming in the distant future, maybe sooner depending on the circumstances, but yeah, definitely keep a lookout for that one, folks. I'll see y'all in the next one. Please have yourselves a good weekend, and have yourselves a good week next week in case something happens that I don't upload, and you guys stay safe and take care. Have a good one.